The story she left behind. When I think of my childhood, I don't first remember toys or school books. I remember evenings in our compound, where the air was heavy with the smell of wood smoke and the laughter of children echoed against cracked walls. I remember a circle forming, small bodies pressed close, bare feet tapping in the sand, as we all waited for her voice. My mother. She didn't just tell stories, she lived them. Her eyes would sparkle like lanterns when she spoke. Her hands carved shapes in the air, bringing animals, kings, and spirits to life. Sometimes she would stand, mimicking the proud strut of a chief, or crouch low like a clever tortoise, and the children, oh, how we laughed. She made us forget the world outside, the hunger, the tiredness, the little troubles of the day. To me, she was more than a mother in those moments. She was magic. She was the drumbeat of our nights, the keeper of our imaginations. And I adored her for it. But when I was just 10 years old, that voice went silent. Death came quietly, cruelly, and took her from me before I was old enough to understand what forever really meant. One day, there were stories and laughter. The next, there was only silence, an empty chair, and a wound too big for a child to name. I carried that silence with me for years. At night, I would close my eyes and try to hear her voice again, to remember the way she moved her hands, the rise and fall of her words. I was terrified that I might forget. And sometimes, I did. Sometimes all I had left was the ache of missing her. Growing up without her was like walking with one shoe missing. The world felt uneven, painful, incomplete. Yet deep inside, something of her remained. The seeds she planted in those stories did not die with her. They lay buried, waiting. It wasn't until much later, as a grown woman, looking at myself through the lens of memory and faith, that I discovered it. That same spark, that same fire to weave words into life, had been passed down to me. The torch she carried so brightly in our little compound had not gone out, it was flickering inside my chest. The first time I told a story, really told it, with feeling, with my whole heart, I felt her there. I saw her hands in my hands, heard her voice mingled with mine. And I knew, though death had taken her body, her spirit was still teaching me, still guiding me. Now, by God's grace, I carry her gift forward. But not just for myself. Not just for the children who once sat beside me in the dust. I tell stories for the world at large, because her legacy deserves more than silence. Every story I tell is a prayer. A thank you. A way of keeping her alive in me. And when people listen, when they laugh, when their eyes widen at the magic of a tale, I smile, because in that moment, it feels like my mother is still here, alive in every word. She gave me my first story. And I will spend my life telling the rest.